What's up, everybody? I got a special video for you today. We are here at Dusky Boats. I'm with Mike Brown, and he's gonna show us all about these boats and how they're made from start to finish, so you guys get a better idea of how boats are actually made and how it's done the right way. It's a really cool video and how they make these boats over here at Dusky, so you're not gonna wanna miss this one. All right, guys, I'm with Mike Brown, Dusky Boats, and he's gonna show us a little bit about how they build boats here at Dusky. Cool?
Yeah.
Let's go. Let's do a walkthrough. This is a pretty huge warehouse. So you have two warehouses, right, Mike? You got
there's three there's three warehouses. We have the lamination building.
Okay.
This is the assembly and production building, and then we have the retail side.
The retail side. All right, right. Okay.
Yeah. So over here, this is
like the rigging
two main
and stuff.
for building boats. Yeah.
Okay.
Assembling, putting all the boats together, beating them up, making sure we can get every little thing out of them and stuff here.
Yeah. And then you have the lamination side. You said out
Yeah,
this
we're
way.
going to go start over the lamination side and work our way
way.
back. It's kind of a cool way
Yeah.
to do it, see where they're born.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you guys have been in business for how long?
Since 66.
66, wow.
Yeah, Dad started it way back when. We were actually, even before that, he was making rental boats. And after he was making rental boats, well, he had a rental company. He couldn't stand the boats that he had, so he kept on tweaking them. And then everyone wanted his rental boats. Yeah. So he started selling boats at that point.
And these are all molds out here, right?
Yeah, most of these are all molds. Unfortunately, when you're building boats, you got to have a lot of parts and pieces.
And space.
And space.
Yeah, a lot of space.
A lot of space.
Yeah. Now, has the molds that you guys have used over the years, have they changed a lot? Or
we've altered them from the very beginning. Little things you couldn't tell what they were in the very beginning.
Right.
We figured out a lot of stuff as we were building boats. Like when you're running a boat, my dad would say, "Why am I getting wet?" And then he'd change the lines on the bottom of the boat, made them more reversed, and then ran another boat like that. He goes, "Oh, that worked good," and then started applying some of that same stuff throughout the boats.
Got it. Yeah, trial and error.
And it's always trial and error.
Yeah.
In here, the guys are starting a liner here.
Cool.
We have the Gelcoat on first, and they're right now putting the first layer of resin and glass on the boat.
So this is the liner that goes inside the hull,
boat,
right?
Yes.
Inside the boat.
This is part of the when we call three-piece construction.
Right.
You have the hull, the liner, and then the top deck.
Yeah. People have a lot of questions about the three-piece construction versus two-piece. Why is it better? I mean, I know why it's better, but why would somebody prefer that type of hull versus a traditional two-piece?
The main reason for the three-piece, it's making it stronger.
Right.
Okay, because you have the liner, our liner bonds to our hull. Okay, and it gives us a very solid piece to it. Right. And it's really nice and close to it. So when we also add rod holders on the top cap, all the rod holders would just drain straight on the floor instead of some weird compartment.
Right.
A lot of those two-piece construction boats, you cannot add rod holders after the fact because they might drip somewhere. So you have to put little nuts on the bottom of them. They'll fill with water.
And all your boats are the three-piece construction?
Everything we do is three-piece except for our flats boat, but that's a different monster.
Yeah, a different
and that might be changing too. That might be going more to a three-piece construction soon when I get enough chance to redo that one.
Cool. So where does the boats actually start? Where does the...
Over here is our 25-footer. This one's already got a hull inside of it, a boat inside of it.
Got it.
So it's already got the stringers set up in it. They're about 35 inches apart. And when we lay up the bottom glass, it's going to go from the center up 50 inches and all the way to the front of the boat. We don't stop it along the waterline. We bring that all the way to the front. So you'll have 4 layers of glass on the bottom going all the way up forward. The sides of the boat are going to be 38 inches of glass, and they're going to be 3 layers rolling all the way up to the front. So basically, you're going to end up with 7 layers of glass in the very front of the boat.
Wow.
And then the overlap has got to really back to 7 layers of glass throughout in that overlay. So that gives it a very good strong piece there, and it will stop any kind of twisting of the hull.
Got it.
And when we drop the stringers in, what we'll do is we'll overlap. They're all non-wood now.
Yep.
The stringers will overlap every 24 inches with a triplex glass.
Yeah, I noticed that you guys are overlapping so it's not just one solid piece,
right?
Okay.
And when us doing that, then we'll come back on the inside and then we'll put two mat and a woven down the middle and bond it back in the hull.
Got it.
Because a lot of people, when they put the boats together, you only got like a little, about 2 or 3 inch gap overlap from one side of the boat to the other down the middle. That's why when you hear certain boats, they crack.
Yes, yes.
Okay, we ain't gonna crack because you have this extra piece of glass down the middle, bonding everything back together. And,
Wow.
and attaching the stringers down into the hull even better. So then after this, then it depends on what the boat is sold as. As
Got
it's
it.
sold, I'll show you one of those here shortly. And the transom, I'll show you a piece over here.
Sure.
Where we actually pour the transoms.
Oh, I've done 2 pour transoms already using RJ.
Yeah, we do something similar.
Okay.
It's something similar to an RJ. It does have microbloons, mill fibers, and we make a dam back here.
Yep.
And in the dam,
Interesting.
has little pieces of blocks that hold it off, and they set it up like this. Then they'll bring the machine and they'll pump in the special resin.
Got it.
It's a microbloons, mill fibers, and a lot of resin we pour down inside there. And then that will fill every gap coming all the way up. So we do some boats we used to do, and we still do some of them with the core materials against the transoms. But the problem is you get a lot of voids and a lot of air spots.
Yeah.
This here, you fill everything up.
Yeah.
I have never had a transom like this fail.
Really?
Okay, I mean, in fact, I even played around with with my guns earlier, and shot into the transom with a 308. So it kind of stopped it. Kind of.
That's funny.
It kind of poked out the backside, but it's strong enough.
Yeah.
We've had it tested. I mean, we've run up to 1,000 horsepower on it. So,
Really?
Yeah.
It's-
Once you get in it, I mean, even though it's still got 3 layers of glass here, then it's got a triplex. And
Okay.
then after we do this whole thing, we'll put 3 more layers of glass on the other side of it and chop it all back in so it makes it nice and pretty and clean.
Got it. No, I know you guys are known for having those thick hulls.
Yes.
And that's, you guys are known for that thick, heavy hull.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
weight does matter. I mean,
course.
yes, a lot of people what they're doing now is they're trying to get the weight out of the boats, but we did a video shoot one time with 3 other boats, and as we went out the inlet, everyone else disappeared because they were so light, and so they could not keep the boat in the water.
Yeah.
It's
So-
like, do you want a running back going through the line, or do you want your fullback going through the line? So that's the difference. We're like a big fullback,
That's a good
busting through the
analogy.
water. That's just how we've been doing it.
Yeah.
We slid the fuel tanks a little more forward to get even more weight forward on a lot of the
Keep
boats.
that bow down more?
Yes.
Yeah, got it. Okay, cool.
Exactly.
So we got that's the actual hole, right?
That's a 27 footer there with the actual boat inside.
And this is
our bracket.
The bracket mold?
Yes.
Oh, got it. Okay.
And on the bracket molds, we keep changing it, altering it. My dad came up with the first bracket back in the 70s, and it was just plywood. And then he changed it from there into the 80s, and it was fiberglass bucket. And then we changed it again, and when I came onto the company back in 94, but I started playing around with different styles, and then I came up with a new style back in 2005, where we started making the first platform brackets, and I'm on my 4th generation now, and it's almost bulletproof. So now what I do is the top part, this is the top part of it now. When we put it on, this fits like a hat on the actual part now.
Got it.
So now I no longer have the seam where the stress was.
Right.
So now it just fits on like a hat, and then I'll show you where we got a couple of them upside down, where when we put them together, we'll pour it with the same pourable resin there to fill every gap.
Wow.
And that will help, that stops all the cracking
Sweet.
and everything else that can happen in those areas.
Well, that's good. You listen to your clients,
Oh.
your customers, and you make the changes according to, you know.
We're 100% custom. So
Yeah.
a lot of my customers will tell me, hey, Mike, that's why my dad came up with the bracket at first.
Right.
And then, we find out different things that they want, and we keep changing it up.
Yeah.
In fact, this is the new prototype, or this is going to be the new part coming through for the 33 footer.
Okay.
A lot of people complained about how thick the cap is on the 33 footer. And what we did was we changed some of the design in it. We kept it thick in the back because you want the height when you're fishing,
Right.
but you wanted a low profile in the front, so you can throw a net easier off the front, and now everything's going to trolling motors.
Yeah.
This part's already is already sold, This will be going to the Miami Boat Show.
Okay.
Believe it or not, in a month.
Nice.
This will be done and on the boat. And it's also going to have one of the new power pole trolling motors on it.
Nice.
So, I mean...
So it's going to be a new look for the 33.
Exactly.
Nice.
I mean, the 33 runs phenomenal. And all my boats run phenomenal. It's just, all we do is tweak little things here and there as we go to make them more appealing. I mean, the boats are hardcore fishing machines.
Yep.
But now we're just trying to take care of it because you got to worry about the wife, the kids, and everything else.
Yeah.
We're just trying to make it, we want to make a boat that will last forever, but we want to make sure the customer is going to be happy with it and the looks of it. I mean,
Right.
to me, I like the looks.
Yeah.
I've always liked the looks.
I've always
but
liked the look of Dusky too,
some people, it's just to get them into that.
Got it.
Now-
Now, are you guys doing everything in-house for the most part, or you guys outsource
We outsource fuel tanks.
Okay.
We outsource T-tops, cushions.
Okay.
Everything fiberglass-wise is all done in-house.
So that's the, we did the hole, right?
Right. Now, this is a hull sitting here.
Okay. Just out of the
This
mold.
is just out of the mold, 27-footer. We got it braced up until we shoot the foam and glass up. Now, if you look inside,
Right.
you'll see
Oh, this
the
one's got the whole,
bulkheads
yeah, the bulkheads are
set
in this
up.
one.
So it depends on, like, this is a center console. This will have a 2 fuel tank system. Okay. We don't run the bulkheads all the way to the outside. I know people ask about that all
Yeah,
the time.
you
Why we
mentioned
don't.
that, yeah.
And the main reason why is because this is Florida. There's too much moisture. And when we shoot the foam in there, we allow that as a channel to get the water from the front to the back in case something does leak or something inside the boat.
Inevitably, because all boats are going to leak. I mean,
Exactly.
that's the
And
way
if you
it
did
is.
put a rod holder in the wrong place, like in the anchor locker or nearby the fuel system, and it drips down into it, it's able to still get to the back
Got it.
of the boat. I mean, no matter what, everything's got moisture in Florida.
Yeah.
And yeah, you'll see the piping, everything else, and you're still able to get more piping around the outside edges if you needed to. The fuel tanks
Yep.
are tied down right now, and
So this
when
one
they
has
come back into it,
dual fuel tanks?
yes, it's got 100 and a 60.
Sweet.
And later, I'm going to come back in and I'm going to shoot foam in the tanks to set them in place, and then we'll shoot foam around the outside
Cool.
when it's warmer.
Yeah, it's a little too cold
Yeah.
for Florida. For
But
South
yeah,
Florida.
we brace everything up and set it so nothing gets twisted until all the foam and all the glass is pretty much in the boat. So it's all straight, nice and straight.
So when these things come out of the mold, Mike, you still got to polish them up and stuff, right?
Oh
It's
yeah,
not-
no.
'cause
We got old molds. All my molds are pretty old here, and so what happens? We'll tweak and sand them and make them look a little better here and there. But what we got to do later on is we just got to sand them up and polish them up and make them look pretty. And I'll show you some spots over there where we start marking it and start setting everything up, where we kind of like line up all the different parts we got to do, and then lightly touch them up and fix them up.
Now I see these bulkheads. What is the material you're using for the bulkheads? It looks like foam. Is that Divinycell?
Something similar to it. It's actually
Okay.
recyclable water bottles.
Really?
So even though we are using, open molding situations, stuff like that, but I am using recyclable stuff a lot in the boats. And a lot of that, and it holds screws very well too. So
Really?
we pre-cut it with the CNC machines. We'll set it up inside, we'll glass it, then we'll fit it, and we'll line them all up, and then we'll fiberglass them back into the boat itself.
Wow. So you guys do CNC machining and stuff
Yes.
too? Awesome.
I'll show you that shop. And we do all the stringers are CNC'd, all the bulkheads
they're
are
coming out
CNC'd.
perfect every
Oh
time.
yeah, everything comes out a certain way. Because of glass and how we put them in, they sometimes got to tweak them a little here and there.
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, we do put a lot of glass in the boat.
Yeah, and they are. I see everything's labeled too with like 23, 2, 23. So
Exactly.
everything is in the right spot. Cool, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, this one's a little bit higher on the stringers because this is the tournament model. So
Okay.
we have to raise the stringers a little higher for the floor that rises up in the tournament models.
Oh, so that's the difference in the tournament models. It's just so you get lower freeboard.
It's not only in the front,
Okay.
but then again, you won't notice it because the boxes are those fish boxes are missing. But we try to reuse certain type of molds. So the mold we use to make the tournament is coming from the cabin molds.
Got it.
So the same liner I use on all the cabin molds is I use on the tournament. So here's a tournament liner right now.
Yeah. So the liner again, that's the part that sits inside the hole, right?
Right.
That you bond. How do you bond that to the actual hole? You use some type of like
We
putty?
use a lot of, everything we do, we deal with secondary bonding. So everything we do with secondary bonding is with resin. Okay, a lot of people use sometimes with plexus, some other type of material, 5200 to put the stuff together. I like resin on resin, and it's the same type of resin that we use there and there. It bonds together a lot better.
Yeah.
And makes it a lot stronger.
I see this one's already scraped up, ready to be put in, right?
Exactly. We sit there and grind everything just in case, wherever. It's just easier to grind the whole thing than it is to just do it where it bonds.
Yeah.
And then this is a liner already flipped over.
Cool. What model is this one?
This is called the 22V.
22V.
So this is the V model. It's always been a square front in the boats.
Yep.
And always had the two back corner boxes. So we built a whole new liner to change it up a looks because the women like the little seating up front.
They love that, yeah.
And everyone complained about the back boxes. I mean, we still can be a little bit more customization on here. I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff we can do. So,
sweet. So that one's flipped over, and then you have what's next after this? Well, there's another console over here.
Yes, that's just the console. Some live wall pieces. We're prototyping for a new boat.
And the actual cap molds, are those the ones outside over there?
Yes. This is a cap mold over here. I'll show you. This is one. This is the old one for the 33. And you can see how thick it is up front,
a lot
going to the
thicker.
back.
Yep.
We kept the same height, but like I said, we just narrowed it all the way down. And we still use this for certain things. There's cabin models, and a lot of people still like the height and everything up forward for what some type of fishing. So everyone's got a different idea. Exactly.
Yeah, you have options. Now, when you're bonding this last, right? So this is going to sit on top.
It's going to sit on top. I'll show you that shortly. Like here's the liner. This has got the liner.
Okay, there you go. So
already,
this has got the liner. This is before they put the cap on.
Right. They're fitting everything beforehand. We set up all the bulkheads, and I mean the front bulkhead and everything else. We kind of glass it in place to make sure it fits. We dry fit everything first before we actually pull it in. And once we put it in, then we'll set the cap up. We'll grind a little line around the inside so we can glass the whole cap on besides screw it.
Oh, so you're not just screwing it.
We're glassing it together.
Stuck together with resin, and it's glassed on top, and it's screwed.
Yes.
There's a look at that transom so you guys can see how thick that is. Yeah. So this is the dry fit. Then you guys would put that together. Cool.
Yeah, I got.
Well, there's that foam.
This to show you. This is the smaller boat. This is the 21. We still put full Coast Guard foam in it. This will show you how the whole foam is and setup is.
Now, besides flotation, does the foam do any structural, or is it more for like noise?
It's more for noise.
Yeah.
A lot of people use it for structure. I don't.
Really?
I only put it in there. Mainly, I put it in this area here, is to move the water. Okay. If water, and like I said, you're going to get moisture in Florida, so everything sweats in Florida. Every part of the boat sweats. So when you get sweat around the outside, it's just able to work its way to the back and get to the bilge.
Sweet. Yeah, it's a good look at that foam. And there's that bracket you were saying. So that new bracket.
You can see up here how we're just glassing in.
Oh, that's that. Is this?
These are these pieces
the
here.
pieces that go there. Okay.
That will go there. Those are the bigger ones for the 25s and 27s. So that's basically this. It's just a little structure up front to get everything fitted before we put it together.
Now, Mike, I started going to boat shows and filming a couple years ago, and I got a lot of people that ask me questions. What's a good boat? What's a good boat? And it's hard to articulate that because they don't understand how a boat is built.
Well, first it's what fits them.
Right.
Okay. Because there's some boats I build that won't work for other people.
Right.
Okay. But how I do things, it just depends on how you can maneuver some things around. I mean, yes, I built boats without rod holders. Right. It's rare, but I did. But yeah, we do. What makes a strong boat is just depends on who's building it.
Yeah.
And how long they've been doing it and such. Because there's a lot of companies out there that been bought and sold several times. Yeah. Most of my people have been here for decades. Yeah. Okay. I mean, one of my main riggers, who's now my manager, I mean, he's been here. He built my first boat when I was 14 years old. Wow. So, I mean, there's a lot of that happens here. Now, here's a bracket. This will show the inside of it. Nice. You can see how it's all double glassed in there. You can see a little bit of the putty over here. Yep. And
Yeah, I see where it's stuck together, right? That's
Right.
that cap, right?
In fact, over here,
And he's ferrying that out.
you
I
can
see.
see here, here's the top part, here's the bottom part.
Got it.
Okay?
And he's
And
just
here,
ferrying that out.
he's just filling in all the holes. That's all the extra glass on the outside, and then it's all the finish work afterwards. And then in here, you'll see the gap. You'll see the gap there. We'll pour that whole entire thing up and then reglass everything in here. So we fit it first, and then we'll fit it, and then we'll glass it all together.
Is that the 26 DLX?
That's
I
it.
think
That's
it's called?
the 26 or / 28 XL.
XL. That's
yeah.
it. The big boy, right?
Yeah,
That's
we
that
delivered
wide.
one. We delivered one this summer that went to NOAA for coral restoration down in Key West.
I was gonna ask you, who's buying those style boats? Is it like commercial guys, or is it like government style?
It's more like a huge dive boat. I mean,
dive boat.
it is.
Right.
It's 11 foot wide.
Yeah.
It is a huge, awesome
I mean, that's
platform.
giant. Yeah.
And it doesn't draw much water for the keys and stuff.
I noticed that it's the mold is
A split.
split mold, right?
Yeah, it's got some hard edges on it where the front is. Plus, it's got a keel down the middle. So when we
okay.
did do inboards, we built it as a tugboat a couple times, and a lot of tuna boats up north.
It's funny, I was watching one of the guys, I think it was Alfred Montaner, the guy that does the boat ramp videos, and he had gone on some of those tugboats, and they said these are Duskies.
Yep. The
Yeah.
blue ones, there's a blue, Steel Towing's got a bunch of mine out there. We built one for Rybovich. I think Boat US now owns that
Wow.
one. So there's a few of them out there. I mean, it's a big, solid, heavy-duty hull that can do just about everything. It's a great work boat.
Yeah.
But some people love them as dive boats.
Yeah, space seems to be like
Oh yeah, because there's so many molds, so many
Yeah.
parts and pieces. I mean, I never know what I'm selling or what I'm building for certain people. In fact, this is the mold this was one of my first boats I had. And little 16-foot tri-hull and great running little boat.
and you guys don't you just have it sitting there, or
Just don't build them that often. Small boats, with the economy and everything else, small boats kind of kick back a little bit.
Okay.
Plus, when I tell people it's 6 months to build, they kind of like fade off on that thing.
yeah,
Even though they ain't gonna find a 16-footer rides better than that.
no.
I mean, because it is 20 degree. Believe it or not, it's a tri-hull, but it's a deep, but it's a 20-degree dead rise in the stern.
Wow, a 16-foot boat.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, same thing with our little 17s. Pretty much everything we do, except for the flats boat and the old rolled edge 17, are all 20-degree dead rise.
What's the difference between the rolled edge? I've never understood that exactly. It's not three pieces.
Well, actually, we kind of do versions of that. The rolled edge is basically giving you a hard corner, because every place where you can bend fiberglass is making strength.
Got it.
So when you turn an angle or do an angle, you're kind of making strength. Like the old lap strike boats you see strakes down the side of it, all those was creating little strength parts. Okay? And a lot of them didn't have, and back then no one really did liners. So everyone kind of did their own thing to make things stronger. So the rolled edge itself is making a top edge strong around the whole boat.
And now, you don't have that liner. They put the floor.
We still do put the liner.
Oh, okay.
It's something kind of cool. I'll show you one of them out front. What we do is we have a version of that. We drop the liner in, and we'll glass up the top edge on our 21-8.
Yeah, so I was going to ask you too, so what's your typical production time for a boat? How long does it take to build a boat?
Sometimes, right now I'm anywhere, because I do have a couple boats coming through, I can tweak some stuff. I can be anywhere between 4 months to 6 months to a year, just depending on how crazy the options are and colors. Because it takes us a couple weeks to get a color in. Then it takes us, depending where we are on mold, which mold we're using, to pop the mold and to build the next boat from it, depending on the color.
How long does a boat have to sit in the mold for it to cure and be strong? I've heard so many different things. People say weeks, a month, days. What's the...
Some people will keep the boat in the mold for a day. Okay, a lot of what we call cookie cutter boats, companies that are popping them out left and right, and it's one of their quickest ones, they might only keep them in there for a day.
That's nuts.
In which it comes out, it's like Jell-O. Then they got to sit in a special cradle. Most of the resins cure 90% within a couple days. Okay, so to me, I usually wait a whole week to 2 weeks.
Okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
usually because I'll rotate boats. So what I'll do is I'll do a 22 and 1 week, and the following week, if I needed to pull it, I could, but I usually do another boat. So as we do that boat, we'll put the stringers in, we'll put the bulkheads in, well, everything, not the bulkheads that we'll do later, but the stringers and the transom we'll put in first and let it set up. And then we'll go back. So we do a three boat rotation right now. So it's every 3 weeks right now what we're doing.
Okay. Yeah.
Sometimes I go down to 2 weeks is the tightest I ever go.
Got it.
But I still set them up like you saw earlier. I put braces and everything else. And after everything's in the boat, and then when I shoot foam in it, everything's straight and everything's perfect. And after we shoot foam, it locks everything in place. It's not that the foam's strong; it just fills the gaps, so it can't wiggle at all.
Yeah. Now boats are meant to be flexible, right?
Exactly.
They're not supposed to be stiff. If they're stiff, they break, right?
If they don't have enough glass.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so this is the final.
This is when we get in it. We do the assembly. We put the liners in, the decks in. Over here, this is what I was telling you about. That's the 21. I'll show you shortly. That's the 21.7.
Okay.
That has the cap on it, and I'll show you the 21.8 outside in a
Nice.
second. But you can see it's got a cap and a liner
Yep.
and everything else. And then we do this as a rolled edge also, where we just cut the edge off. And that's what we did. We cut the edge off to make this here. The next one will have the edge, and we'll just finish up the edges and stuff.
Cool.
This is the same hull here without everything in it.
Yeah.
And even in the brackets, if you look, you'll see we have a wire run that's in the transom there.
Yeah, I see that.
And then the very bottom is now a drain. No matter what we do, even though we seal everything back here, the rigging tube and everything else leaks water, and no one ever cleans it and reseals it or anything like that. Especially the hydraulic hoses, they'll tighten them up. So water drips back into here, and then it'll go in from here into the bilge and still get pumped out.
Got it. Well, you got a few boats in here too.
Oh yeah, we're getting ready for the boat show. These two here are for Boy Scouts in America. We're building for them. They use them for diving. They use them for They use them for diving, fishing, everything.
Huh.
I got a cute picture of them. They had a blue marlin they caught and released down in the Keys with it. So there's a lot of, they'll take people up diving. A lot of kids they'll take out in these all summer long. Now here you'll see all the marks and pieces onto it. This is just showing us all the little stuff we have to fix as we're going through. Now over here, this gentleman, he's slowly going through it and touching up what he can.
This is the 33?
This is the 33.
This is a sick looking hull.
Awesome hull.
Yeah.
And he's touching up as we go through. Then he remarks stuff as he's going through, what he's got to either touch with paint and so he's slightly sanding everything and buffing everything back out.
Now, you guys, when you say paint, because there's paint in Gelcoat, right?
Basically paint is Gelcoat.
Yeah, paint is
Everything we
Gelcoat.
do is Gelcoat. I don't do any paint at all.
Good.
So they'll just it's solid through. So when you scratch our boat, it'll be a lighter color, but it's still the same color.
Yeah, it's still the same Gelcoat.
So you can actually either lightly buff it out or lightly sand it, and fix the scratch that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and this has the step.
This is the radical stepped hull,
Yeah.
where it does several things on this hull. We're almost a 50-degree entry, carries to a 35 degree, then goes from a 35 to a 25, and then the back is 25 to 20. So it's 3 different places where it's changing angles.
It's a variable dead rise, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's able to cut. Even at the console, you're almost at 30 degrees.
Now, is this the biggest boat you guys make? The 33?
Currently, yes.
Yeah. Are you guys thinking about making anything bigger? It seems like the market's going that way. It's
They're
bigger,
going
bigger,
and
right?
bigger and bigger. But the problem is, you run out of building space.
It's true.
And a lot of those boats, there's a couple made in the U.S., but a lot of them are being made out of the country now. So I don't know how the new tariffs are going to react that way. But,
Yeah, I've heard that
I like
too.
being hands-on. I don't like things being stuck somewhere else and then coming in. Or like some of the other boat companies, they're having other people build them boats, and then they're doing the glass work and everything else. Then it comes in. I like hands-on everything.
So these are almost, well, these still got to be rigged up and stuff.
Yeah,
but,
these are getting rigged up here shortly.
Yeah. This is a 23?
No, they're both 27s.
These are, okay.
They're just single powered. The Boy Scouts of America love the 300 Suzuki. It's almost bulletproof.
Yep.
I mean, they have, I think, 20 of these vessels down in the Keys. Then they have also 2 of my 33s down in the Keys. But everything's rigged with 300s.
Your 27 used to be, or how was it? The 25 used to be the 23, or because you guys changed the.
We changed all our numbers back in 07, 08.
Okay.
The 23s went to the 252.
Got it.
The 256 went to a 278.
Yeah, and the 203 is now the 227, right?
227, yeah. We started adding the bracket because, well, Contender started counting their European transom, and everyone else started counting bow pulpits and everything. I'm counting off floatable length. So wherever the motor mounts, and that's what they do on theirs, you got the motor mounts here and they mount there. You're going to lose anywhere between 20 to 30 inches for the motor to tilt into the boat. So that's always wasted space. We can walk out front and show you some of the boats and stuff.
So you guys also have like a showroom. This is like, people could come and see your boats here if they wanted to.
Exactly. Actually, we recommend them to come here because until you actually get in the boat and feel the size, I mean, even though my beams are not as wide as everyone else, but because it's a 3-piece construction, you actually have more room in the boat.
I've noticed that too. When I go to these boat shows and I see the beams on these 2-piece construction boats, they're like, oh, it's 8.5 foot, almost 9 foot beam, but it feels smaller than an actual 8-foot beam, 3-piece construction because you get that foot space.
I mean, believe it or not, this hull and that hull is the same hull.
Yeah, you were telling me that at the Fort Lauderdale show, and you guys pretty much cut it in half, right? Cut it down.
I loved how my 252s run. I mean, phenomenal running boat. But I needed something low profile. Again, like I said, we build things for people, and this was built for myself. My dad was 80 years old at the time, and my mom's old. So for them to get in and out of the boat, I wanted a low profile bow so I can get them in and out of the boat. Plus my dog.
Plus your dog, yeah.
And now I still take mom out in the boat, and it makes it so much easier to get her in the front of the boat and walk to the back at the dock in our house in the Keys. So,
so this is you never know it's the same hull just looking at it.
No, the 3-piece construction makes it so much easier. So all I had to do is build a new cap.
Yeah.
I'll show you this. This piece of fiberglass here came off of the bay boat.
Okay.
And just to give you a hint, everyone says, you know, talk about being bulletproof. These are both 9mm shots.
That's funny.
Okay. And they say some people got to prove it. Well, that's the proof.
Man, that's the so that's
the bow of the boat.
The bow of the boat.
Yeah, that's a cutout piece off that bay boat. Here's a walk around.
I personally love walk-arounds. That's like my style boat. I love them.
Well, believe it or not, that's what Bouncer Smith used to fish out of.
Huh.
But that's a walk-around hull.
Cool. Nice. Yeah, I've never seen it. Can I step on there?
Yeah,
You want me to take off my shoes?
No, keep shoes on.
All right.
Real boat. The only time we take shoes off are at boat shows.
Okay.
Because we don't want to keep cleaning the boats.
I've never seen one of these in person. Wow, that's a ton of space. Holy crap.
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
again, 3-piece construction.
Yeah.
When you're building a 3-piece boat.
Yeah, I've never seen one of these in person. This is so much space. 2 people fit in here, super comfortable. You even put a toilet in here and still have space. It's nuts. Yeah, and it's got so much space you could actually walk around like.
Oh, it's a real walk around.
Yeah, it's a true walk around too.
Yeah.
And you got all your models out here too, right, Mike?
Yeah.
Everything from is that the 17 out there?
That's the 21. I want to show you that. That's the rolled edge with a liner.
This is a 218 rolled.
This is the 218 rolled edge. Okay. So you can still see how the liner and the hull are still bonded, and then all we do is wrap this with glass.
Yeah.
Okay, and then we just finish that whole edge off.
So will this be at the Miami show or no?
No.
No,
I got it at the Miami show. I'm taking 1222, 1227, 1252, 1278, and the new 33. Not sure what I'm going to call it yet.
What's your most popular model?
It's been the 27.
Really?
The 27's been the most popular for the past couple years. I haven't been able to get caught up on them.
Huh.
Whether it's a tournament model or the seating model, it just seems to be that perfect size for a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, you can still get away to get to the Bahamas, but it's still easily towed by normal vehicles.
Yeah, and you could put a single on it if you wanted to.
Exactly.
And then, okay, so this is your
No.
sports center, right?
This is the sports center. This is our retail store where we sell fishing tackle, all the extra toys to fill up the big toy. So it's all the extra rods, reels, and so on and so forth. This is a service department, full service and rigging, so we do everything over here.
Cool.
For everything. And then we've been doing it for so long. I mean, look at the old Evinrude covers.
Wow, look
Even
at
the
that.
old OMC C drive cover. So I mean, that's why I said when we have parts, we have lots of different parts.
And I remember, Mike, when you guys had those ads in the back of the Florida Sportsman. Mm-hmm. It was like $29,995 for the 20-footer with the single.
I remember
and the trailer.
I remember when it was $16,000 for the 20-footer.
Wow.
It was $16,999 boat, motor, and trailer. I also hide some of my boats in here.
Now, which is your boat? Is it the 24?
I have a 24 and a 33 in the Keys. I have them both
Sweet.
on the lift down there. So
Awesome.
I'll be bringing the 33 back, putting that up for sale. Actually, it's up for sale now, and I'll be building the new 33 because now it's, again, the trolling motor thing.
Yeah, and with the new liner, right? The new
With the new
cap,
top deck.
the new
Yeah, oh,
cap. Sweet. And this is the one that's going to be at the boat show?
No,
the
no,
new
that
the new
one is.
That's right, the
That
new
one
one.
there
the new
we
one,
saw
right.
over there.
Because I saw this one at Fort Lauderdale.
Yeah, and I'm not sure which 27 I'm taking yet, or which 25 yet, because I might have one of them sold beforehand. So it's like I might be juggling again as usual.
Now, I'll tell you, I know this is the price for this one, but I've seen some 27-footers that are up at this price. You know,
We are, like, again, simple, easy. You know, you want more fancy stuff, we do it. You want to put more glitz on it. I mean, that's where we keep that's where we keep changing. We keep coming up with different ideas and different things.
So what else do you have coming for Miami? You said you have the new top deck for the 33, right? The
new
cap?
top deck on the 33, and it's going to have a new seat in the boat. Going more simple. I'm not doing a hard top and doing a canvas top because the guy who wants it is kind of like me, wants it simple.
Mike, let me ask you a question. Custom, semi-custom versus production. But what's the benefit that they get from buying a semi-custom custom boat
Every
versus a
person's
production?
different. Every person's shape is different. When you're buying a boat from me, if you have a little bit bigger stomach, like most of us fishermen do, you might need to slide that seat back an inch or two. You're stuck with that. You're stuck with seeing what's out there. I had a gentleman that had a problem with his arm. We put the throttle on the other side. Okay, some people might want the steering wheel. We usually put the steering wheel in the middle. Some people want the steering wheel to the left. Okay, so everyone's got a different idea where they want things in a boat. Now with all the new fly-by-wire, makes things a lot easier. Might want a tackle box here or there. The new jiggers, all the people are using jigging out there. They're mounting depth finders on the front part of the console. So the guys up front can sit there and see. So these are a lot of things that we get to do and get to play around with that most dealers aren't doing.
This is your shop,
Yeah, this
right?
is our shop. Where we go into the toy store.
This is all in one right here. You guys got everything. Get a boat and go fishing the same day.
Well, you can get a beer and get fishing and buy fishing tackle.
Yeah.
So, I mean, pretty much everything you can think of is in here for fishing. And I have a lot of top charter captains still coming in here and buying stuff because we're the only people who carry certain stuff. I mean, when we're talking about parts, it's like we probably have more lights than everyone else in stock, more trailer parts, more everything.
Yeah, you guys carry it all.
I mean, I even have people who do trailer repair come in here and buy their stuff from us because we're the only ones that carry it, and they don't want to be waiting a day or two for the parts. So they're in here buying stuff all the time. And our parts department for Evinrude, Suzuki is pretty big.
Sweet. Yeah, you even got these old Evinrudes up here. That's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Nice, man.
They've been here for a while.
Mike, thank you very much for taking us on the tour of your shop and showing us how these boats are made. I'm going to put Mike's information in the description down below so you guys can check out his site. And he's going to be at the Miami Boat Show, and he's going to be at the Pompano Beach Nautical Flea Market as well, so you guys can check him out over there. So see you in the next one.